Sixth grade Excel lesson 140, rounding quotients, calculating percents in word problems, and rounding to the nearest whole percent. Sometimes the remainder never becomes zero, no matter how many zeros are added to the right of the decimal. Like in this problem right here, 10 divided by 7, we just keep going, 1.4285, blah, 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 and we still have a remainder of 5, and we could just keep going and going. For example, compute the answer to the following problem. The same problem is shown on the right, only this time the quotient has been rounded to the nearest hundredth. So instead of just keeping going and going, they rounded the answer to the hundredths place. The 8 tells the 2 to become a 3. So the answer is approximately equal to 1.43. In order to round a quotient to the nearest hundredth, you need to compute the answer to the nearest thousandths place, so you'll know whether or not to round the hundredths place up or down. Now this is really review because you guys have already been doing this. You've known that you already have to go 3 places. You don't need all this stuff out here in order to round it to the nearest hundredths place. Imagine if you would have just divided to the hundredths place, you would have got 1.42. You write that down as your answer, round to the nearest hundredths place, you're going to get it wrong because you didn't realize that there was actually an 8 out here that made that 2 bump up. But do we care what the next number after that is? No, we could care less because the only number that helps us in rounding is the one that's right next door to the number of the place that we're rounding to. Whoa, went too far here. Okay, here are some problems. For each of the following problems, round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Can you explain why you may not get the original dividend as your product when you check your answer with multiplication? Well, let's go ahead and try this, and then we'll talk about the answer to that question. Let's do this one together. If we want to round to the hundredths place, we're going to put 3 zeros so we get an answer to the thousandths place. So 3 goes into 40. What is that? 8, 24, 9. Oh, it goes into 4. 3 goes into 4 one time. Remainder 1. 3 goes into 10 3 times. That's 9. Remainder 1. Put that decimal in there. 3 goes into 10 3 times. I think you can see that it's just going to keep being 3s. And so we're going to round this to 13 point, oh, I think they want us to put it right down here, 13.33. Well, if I multiply 13.33 times 3, am I going to get 40? Of course not. I'm going to get 39.9999999. And that's because we rounded our answer. The answer is not really 13.33. That's just close to the right answer. All right, pause the video, do number 2 on your own, and then turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution. Don't forget to put the decimal point right up in here. 7 times 6 is 42. That's a leftover of 3. 7 goes into 33 4 times. That's 28. So you have a leftover of 5. 7 goes into 50 7 times. That's 49. Leftover of 1. 7 goes into 10 1 time. So the closest hundredth to this is 6.47. Whoa! Didn't mean to do that. How do I get that back? All right, here are some more problems for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video. Turn it back on when you've done the solutions to these 8 problems right here, okay? So your answers to these, here we go. 6 goes into 16 twice. That's 12. Remainder 4. 6 goes into 46 times. That's 36. Remainder 4. You can see we're just going to keep getting 6. And so your rounded answer should be 2.67. 3 into 23. 3 goes into 23 7 times. That's 21. Remainder 2. 3 goes into 26 times. That's 18. That's remainder 2. 18. Remainder 2. 18. So the answer is 7.67. You got to round up on that one as well. 8 into 25. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 goes into 10 one time. That's remainder 2. 8 goes into 20 2 times. That's going to be remainder 4. And 8 goes into 40 5 times. So we round this to 3.13. The 5 tells the 2 to bump up. 9 goes into 31 3 times. That's 27. That gives us 4 left over. 9 goes into 40. Oh, 4 times. That's 36. It gives us a 4 left over. 9 goes into 40 4 times. 9 times 4 is 36. And it just keeps repeating. So the answer is close to 3.44. Decimal point straight up. 9 goes into 51. 5 times. That's 45. Remainder 6. 9 goes into 60. 6 times, that's 54, with the remainder 6. 9 goes into 60 6 times, remainder 6, and we get 5.67. 7 goes into 30 4 times, that's 28. 7 goes into 20 2 times, that's 14. 2 times 7 is 14, remainder 6. 7 goes into 60 8 times. That's 8 times 7 is 56. 7 goes into 40. Oh, 5 times, because 7 times 5 is 35. So we get 4.29. 9 goes into 22 times. That's 18. Remainder 2. 9 goes into 22 times. Remainder 2. Remainder 2. So 2.22. 3 goes into 25 8 times. That's remainder 1. 3 times, remainder 1. And so you see we keep getting the 3 over and over again. 8.33 is our answer. All right, now taking a look at some different kinds of problems here. 2 of Tom's 8 hats are green. What percent of his hats are green? The fraction 2/8 can be simplified to 1/4, and then I can change it into 25 out of 100. The other way to do that is you can always figure out what it is as a decimal by just doing the division problem. 8 goes into 22 times, that's 16. Remainder 4, 0.25. 0.25 is the same thing as 25%. 3 of Carol's 8 animals are cats. What percent of her animals are cats? And they do that the way I just showed you up here because we cannot simplify this. 8 can't go into 100, so they do 3 divided by 8, which is 0.375. They want you to round it to the nearest hundredths place. The answer is going to be 38%. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video, read that problem again. All right, let's do this first one together. 7 of Claire's 9 friends are girls. What percent of her friends are girls? Round your answer to the nearest whole percent. Well, 7 out of 9, that 9 is not going to go into 100 or 10 or anything like that. So we're going to do 7.000. We're rounding it to the nearest whole percent, which is the hundredths place. And we're going to divide that by 9. 9 goes into 70. 8, now 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. It's a leftover of 7. 9 goes into 77 times. And it's just going to keep repeating. So we round that off to 78%. Okay, you should have already done number 14 as well. If you haven't, pause the video. 5 of Terry's 12 shirts are blue. What percent of her shirts are blue? Well, again, I can't change that into hundredths, so I'm going to do 5.000 divided by 12. And 12 times 4 is 48. Remainder 2. 12 goes into 21 time, and that's remainder 8. 12 goes into 80. Oh, 6 times, 72. And we get 0.416, which is going to round to 42, 0.42 or 42%. All right, one more problem for you to do here. Pause the video, then turn it back on after you've done this one. 4 of Chet's 6 horses are brown. What percent of his horses are brown? And so we have 4 out of 6. You can do it like that, or you can reduce this to 2/3 before you do the math. I'll go ahead and do it as 6 into 4.000. Decimal point straight up. 6 times 6 is 36. And that's a remainder of 4, right? 6 goes into 40 again. 6 times, that's 36. Remainder of 4, 6 times again. So we have rounded off 67% of his horses are brown. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.